In today's news, a missing man identified as Junior Prince and joint task uncover illegal immigrants.
Rumors of COVID-19 dismissed in the British Virgin Islands, as well as Angola's opposition party wins the general elections. All this and so much more when Tweet 4 News returns.
There's a reason you get up on a morning. A reason you pick yourself up, start the day. Maybe it's sheer grit. Maybe it's your ethics. Maybe it's because you know people like you are waiting for people just like you. We all have our reasons, and for Republic Bank, that reason is you. Every little thing, every big thing. It's all about making a difference in your life. Because after 182 years, if it's one thing we're sure about, is that the difference is you. We're here to help.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Welcome everybody, it's Tuesday, June 30th, 2020, another beautiful day in the British Virgin Islands. I'm Ron Grant.
And I am Javon Wilson. Another beautiful week, and we're so excited,
Paradise.
of course, to welcome you with the news topping our headlines over the weekend, as well as with what we're heading into the week with this time around. So Ron, before we head into the news, Territory Day was yesterday. How did you spend it?
I spent it with my beautiful wife.
Yes.
We spent the day just relaxing and hanging out, touching base with family. But what I love about Territory Day, Jovan, is that it's a really important day, just like all across the world, where persons get to celebrate what many would call their independence.
Yes.
We can't celebrate independence because we're not, but it's a day where we celebrate local heroes, local ministers of government. We depict and reiterate our culture.
I love that.
It's just a beautiful day, and then we get to wear our territory outfits.
Territory wear, and also I love that it's a reflection on how far the territory has come as a whole. The walk to greater autonomy, which was the theme for this year, I think it really exemplifies where the territory has been and the strides, the many strides that the territory has made collectively. So yeah, it was an awesome day, but I know a lot of persons spend the day at the beach.
Yes.
And like yourself, relaxing a lot, so good stuff.
One of the things I must reiterate when you spoke about Territory Day is the fact that in our virtual celebrations, which we were not able to meet as usual, but they spent some time depicting and reiterating the contributions of each of the past chief ministers and premiers of the territory, and I thought that was extremely significant to highlight their contributions and their their mark on the territory, because they've all done a remarkable job in leading the territory through, I think, different scenarios, different phases, different stages, and
passing the torch.
Love it, absolutely.
And I love that the minister reiterated as well the need for us, especially in this time that we're living through, to stand up for your rights. And I think that signals that we might be moving to a brighter future. Right. So viewers, we're pretty excited to head into our news. Ron?
All right. Now, in an invited comment, a spokesperson for the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force has confirmed the unfortunate news that they have received reports of a missing man on Tortola BVI and are actively investigating. Now, reports received to our newsroom stated that on Monday, June 29, 2020, Mr. Junior Peters, which is photoed above, a middle-aged Jamaican national living in the BVI, was reported missing. Now, Peters was known to be living in Carrot Bay and was last seen on Saturday, June 27th in Horse Park, working as a landscaper at a private residence. Now, the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force also confirmed that his personal tools, machines, and other items were found at the said residence, and a substance believed to be blood was also seen. Our newsroom reached out to his close family and friends, who are actively pursuing and making a lot of appeals to the general public for assistance. Anyone with potent information regarding the whereabouts of Mr. Junior Peters, including whether his associates, pattern of lifestyles, or any related information that you think would be potent that could assist police with their investigation, we are asked to do so and contact the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force at its 3-digit access number 311 or intelligence at 368-9339. Again, those numbers are 368-9339. All information will be kept in the strictest of confidence.
I know this is very unfortunate, and in these situations, we just have to hope and
And
pray
be positive, absolutely.
that someone can come forward with the necessary information. One of the great things is that we live in such a closely knitted community. So again, we just have to trust and pray and hope that somebody can come forward. And of course, our prayers are with the family at this time. Viewers, heading straight into our newscast. I know over the weekend we were in somewhat of a frenzy regarding two possible COVID-19 cases. Now, viewers, according to the government of the Virgin Islands, the two British Virgin Islands nationals who returned to the territory on June 27th has tested negative for the virus that causes COVID-19. Now, the returnees were tested shortly after their arrival. Health screenings revealed to them that they may have been exposed to the virus while overseas, and information reaching the Ministry of Health and Social Development suggested that they may have recently contracted COVID-19. Now, Deputy Premier and Minister for Health and Social Development, Honorable Carvin Malone, stated in a live update that local testing was carried out upon their arrival as a precautionary measure to verify whether any of the two persons under investigation were currently carrying the virus, although neither of them were exhibiting symptoms of the disease. Honorable Carvin Malone further explained that established port health procedures for the handling of suspected cases were followed at Itimi Letsam International Airport in compliance with international health regulations. The procedure outlines that should any of the travelers were to test positive for COVID-19, they would be placed in isolation, actively monitored, and treated by healthcare professionals until their recovery status is confirmed. If results were negative, as is this case, then they will be retested at the end of a 14-day quarantine period before being released into the community. The Ministry of Health and Social Development wishes to remind the public at this time that COVID-19 can be undetectable in the early stages of infection, hence the need for quarantine and other precautionary measures to be observed in relation to every arriving traveler for the entire 14-day quarantine period. Now, viewers, following the release from quarantine, persons are also advised to self-monitor for an additional 14 days and report any COVID-related symptoms to the medical hotline, and that number is 852-7650. Again, that number is 852-7650. You are also reminded and encouraged to take personal responsibility
Indeed.
in observing all the safety procedures, whether it's physical distancing, social distancing, as we popularly know it as, hand washing, hygiene, and sanitization, and of course, very importantly, the wearing of your masks. So viewers, like initially, there was deep panic over the weekend. I know as the news hit the territory, even then when we reached out to the minister, Honorable Carvin Malone, at that time around, he could not confirm nor deny. And I know that had persons somewhat anxious, not just not knowing. We also eventually saw the minister dismissing those rumors. But I think I want to use this opportunity to really remind our viewers that we are living in a pandemic, but it's very important as well that we remain very open-minded and prepared for the possibility of running a reinfection. If or when that happens, it is also imperative that we stay calm, we do not panic, because like we all know, this time calls for clear thinking and critical thinking. So I think that's how we're going to beat this. We have to stay calm and be supportive in this time.
Agreed, Jovan. A very important statement, but most importantly, it is very important that as residents and nationals, we continue to take safety precautions as the Honorable Minister of Health and his ministry has been pushing for. Persons need to continue wearing their mask and just being cognizant. It's not an idea of being fearful, as we've reiterated, but it's an idea of just making sure that we're mindful and cognizant of the dangers out there, and making sure that our families are safe, our businesses are protected. And I think in that approach, as we begin to reintegrate, it will move us into a further, just a calmness of redevelopment as we proceed. Continuing on Thursday, June 25th, at approximately 3:30 p.m., Police Marine Unit received a call from a concerned member of the community regarding a white sailing vessel that allegedly dropped off persons with backpacks at Prickly Pear Island. Now, the joint task force made up of the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force as well as members of the Immigration and Customs Office's department responded and intercepted while sailing the sailing vessel on the northwestern side of the island, heading to North Sound on the island. Now, two officers stayed on the sailing vessel to conduct inquiries, while the remainder proceeding to search the Prickly Pear Island, while they found 5 males and 1 female taking refuge in a small building. An additional search was conducted the following day, which uncovered 4 more persons, 2 on the beachfront of the island and 2 on the Leeward Bay, Virgin Gorda, bringing the total of illegal immigrants to 10 persons. Now, as a result of inquiries, the lone occupant of the sailing vessel, Crawford, that's Sabaki, 53-year-old Dominican native from that's Dominica, not Dominican Republic, but residing in St. Martin, was arrested and charged for being engaged in illegal smuggling and illegal entry. He is currently being held at Paradise Suites pending the appearance of his magistrate's court appearance. Now, the remaining immigrants are also being held at Paradise Suites pending deportation. Jovan, the fight against illegal immigrants is something that has been known in the Virgin Islands for a very long time, and as we see situations are getting a little bit crucial
Yes.
across the globe, across the region particularly, we see where that is increasing. But our task force, the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force, as well as members of Her Majesty's Immigration and Customs, are out in full force in collaboration with, which I must admit, with the U.S. Virgin Islands Coast Guard. They work in partnership,
Right.
but we see them doing their best to protect our borders.
And as if, dealing with a pandemic and our
It's not
internal
enough.
issues are not
Yeah.
enough, I think this puts additional strain on our resources, especially members of that joint task force. And Ron, the issue with this is it could have gone easily undetected.
Of course.
And we could have run the reinfection of COVID-19 in the British Virgin Islands. I think it's interesting as we think about why they were seeking refuge in the BVI, but also if they may have been COVID-19 positive, because we just don't know. So I'm really happy, and we do commend the efforts of the Joint Task Force, and really understand and appreciate the importance of the force and the other entities coming together at this time, because
Absolutely.
again, it seems like we're already stretched as it is. Viewers, we're going to go to a quick commercial break, but when we come back, some really great news coming from our very own Mr. Jaleel Cameron, so stick with us.
Is business slow? Cash flow down? Hosting an upcoming event? We can help. Advertise with 284 Media and take your business or event to the next level by enhancing your present marketing and messaging strategies. Allow our team of experts to create a personalized ad that sets your business apart from all the rest. This could be your business or event. So, what are you waiting for? Contact our marketing team at 284media@cctbvi.com. Advertising with us works.
Viewers, welcome back to 284 News. Now, on a lighter note, so that's a great note. Towards the end of 2019, young Jaleel Cameron, we all know him, he made a very special effort to help the children of Abaco, and we all remember Abaco Island in the Bahamas, which was devastated, dealt a devastating blow to the island following the destruction. That was Hurricane Dorian in 2019. Now, Jaleel, having received permission from the Ministry of Education to embark on a coin initiative, was allowed to place a 5-gallon bottle at public and private schools throughout the territory. Now, this initiative, which started back in October of 2019, raised, get this, $4,073.46. Again, that number, $4,073.46. And this sum was then presented to the Rotown Rotary Club on February 27th of this year. Now, young Jaleel, having seen the support and effort on part of the group of students from the Joyce Samuel Primary School, decided that he wanted to not only show his appreciation to those students, but also to all schools for their contributions. Jaleel then secured prizes to award 2 schools who raised the most money. That was the Joyce Samuel Primary School, who received a PA system, and Cedar International, who got a sum of $300 towards rebuilding the school's pitch. The grade 6 students of the Joyce Samuel Primary were presented with the Jaleel Cameron Foundation t-shirt, as well as honorary members. Now, viewers, in addition to that, all contributing schools received a certificate of participation. This initiative, like he said, would not have been possible without the blessings of the Minister of Education and his team, and the support of the beautiful, of course, Zoe Walcott Macmillan, Honorable Mark Vanterpool, Rotarian Mr. Elvis Harrigan, the students and the parents throughout the territory. He wishes to thank the following schools: and businesses as well. CR International, Pelican Gates, Joy Samuel Primary, Agape Total Life Academy, Enos Adams Primary, St. George's Primary and Secondary, Siboney School of Excellence, the Seventh-day Adventist School, Willard Whitley, Ebenezer Thomas, that's J Black's Jerk Barbecue. And of course, he's sending a special thank you to Sandra Mills for her hard work and dedication to the foundation during this initiative. But a lot of thanks going around. But Jaleel, we want to say thank you to you,
Yes, indeed.
because you continue to be, by every extension of the word, a trailblazer, a really compassionate youth in the community. And what is so refreshing to me about this young man, Ron, is, you know, he's fighting his very own struggles as it relates to, I mean, that's very public. He shared his story so many times with us. But I think it's so refreshing that, you know, even in his time of need, he's able to give back and put self aside and just really extend himself to the community. And as far as the Bahamas, in this case, the children of Abaco Island. So we applaud you, Jaleel, and we wish you all the best. And of course, our prayers and our congratulations are with you at this time.
Utmost support going out to Jaleel. Jovan, he reminds me of a true distinguished gentleman in the making.
Yes, he should be on the show.
Absolutely.
He should definitely
I mean,
be on the
his
show.
spirit, his authenticity, his love for country and self is really just amazing. Jaleel, we are proud of you and we support you very much. Continuing on, the Ministry of Health and Social Development received 4,500 KN95 masks courtesy of Drake's Traders Limited, local business. Assistant Manager Ms. Michelle Reimer made the donation valued at about $20,000 US on behalf of the Managing Director of Drake's Traders, Mr. Christian Essie, and that was taken place on June 25th. Now, Deputy Premier and Minister of Health and Social Development, the Honorable Carvin Malone, expressed gratitude to Drake's Traders Limited for being a good corporate citizen over these years and providing the face masks, which are required personal protective equipment known as PPE to be worn in public places, businesses, and establishments as a safety measure during the COVID-19 pandemic. Chief Medical Officer, the one and only Dr. Irad Potter, also thanked Drake's Traders Limited for their generous donation that would also aid the Public Health Division, particularly the Environmental Health Unit, who remains on the front line continuously to inspect businesses and provide health screenings as British Virgin Islands nationals and permanent residents return back to the territory. Drake's Traders Limited was founded by Dieter Esser in 1984 and is a leading supplier of home and commercial improvements and building material here in the beautiful British Virgin Islands. Now, the Ministry of Health and Social Development aspires to provide a caring and integrated as we navigate through this very difficult time, and this example of community love and fellowship by another corporate business in the beautiful British Virgin Islands is no example. It's just that's what we should be doing, and not all persons can do that, but when the businesses that can do it come to the forefront, we are utmost grateful.
I absolutely agree with you, and I think it really speaks volumes about any brand that could step forward, like you said, and extend themselves in this way to the community, because as we know, N95 masks right now, they're a treasured commodity. I mean, it's in shortage all across the world, so just knowing that we could be accommodated with 4,500 in addition to what we already have, I think it's really exciting, and it's
refreshing.
It is refreshing, but it's comforting just to know that, you know, we are in a place of readiness. Are we to run the risk of reinfection?
And there's a different way of doing it, though. Corporate
again.
responsibility, as we've spoken about that many times, there's a different way of doing it, because in the past weeks and I think months gone by, we've seen where corporate companies have taken a stand. It's I would say very similar to a protest in reverting advertisement and really making a stand as it pertains to educating and reflecting a true brand. So this is an example, but we've seen many examples of that, and we want to applaud all corporate businesses for stepping to the forefront and doing remarkable things. Now, continuing on, we have so much news. The BVI gets Hurricane Preparedness Guide amidst COVID-19, and a lot more coming your way. You're watching 284 News.
I love you, Penny. Run, Forrest, run!
Fantasy.
sick of being in this house. I just want to go to the beach, go out, go just one day, and gather, just gather. I'm sick of being in this house.
Having withdrawals from being stuck in the house for so long? Are you tired of looking at your old photos and daydreaming about your next vacation? Well, BVI Staycation is back, and there's so much to choose from. For more information on upcoming deals, follow us on Facebook at BVI Staycation. Get ready, BVI, for an adventure in paradise. It's time to vacation where we live.
Viewers, welcome back. You're watching To It for News. As we get to but we're already in a very tough time.
Yes.
That is COVID-19, but we're also in hurricane season. And the Ministry of Health and Social Development has partnered with the Department of Disaster Management, also known as DDM, to create a handbook to help residents incorporate COVID-19 into their seasonal preparedness activities. Now, the highly visual digital booklet includes items to add to home stocks to protect against COVID-19, as well as reminders to carry out routine activities like updating their emergency plans and restocking emergency kits. The booklet also contains resources to help individuals be ready throughout the Atlantic hurricane season, such as contact numbers for emergency, medical, and social services, and instructions to download the DDM mobile app. Chief Medical Officer Dr. Irad Potter stated, and I quote, "The lessons of the 2017 storms has taught us much life with the threat of COVID-19 to deal with uncertainties." This booklet is a welcome addition to the COVID-19 response tool and initiative I think all residents are to read, share it widely, and integrate to its contents in your hurricane preparedness plans and actions. Always strive to be safer. His Excellency Governor Augustus J.U. Jaspert is encouraging the BVI community to utilize the booklet. He said this year will be unlike any other hurricane season due to the challenge posed, of course, with presently COVID-19. Governor Jaspert said, and I quote, "It is therefore more important than ever to review plans, prepare early, and look out for others in your community. I would like to thank the Department of Disaster Management and, of course, the Ministry of Health and Social Development and encourage persons to use this resource and encourage them to just live in BVI, to read and be ready." Now, meanwhile, the Department of Disaster Management Acting Director, Ms. Dr. Eveline Innes Springer, said she welcomed the opportunity to contribute to a publication as it fills a need in our community. Dr. Springer said, and I quote, "We know that COVID-19 continues to be a factor globally, which may leave persons feeling a little bit of extra anxiety or stress regarding the hurricane season. This booklet is a tool to help empower those persons by providing information to help them protect themselves this season." Jovan, a conversation that we've avoided. A lot of persons in the community globally don't want to talk about the fact that we are in hurricane season, but
1 month in, can you believe?
Yeah, we have to be prepared, and this booklet is definitely one of the tools that we want to utilize.
Definitely. I think being in the know in this time, especially since we're dealing with a parallel
Being
tragedy, which is
prepared, yes.
COVID-19, a lot of things seems to go over our heads. We're not really in tune with what's happening. So I think, again, these collaborations are critical to us surviving not only the hurricane season, but like we said, COVID-19, which is happening at the same time. And I know they're also working along with other organizations like the BVI Red Cross. So these MOUs, these collaborations are very important. Viewers, we're going to wind down to our last story of the newscast. Now, the main opposition, Anguilla Progressive Movement, that is APM, has won Monday's general elections in this British overseas territory, winning 7 of the 11 seats, according to the preliminary results released. Now, among the casualties is Premier Victor Banks. Of course, he was the predecessor Premier, who you'll see on the screen shortly. He was Anguilla's United Fronts, that's AUF's, and he won 4 seats. Now Banks, which is 72 years old, was defeated by, get this, 27-year-old Miss Diane Kentish Rogers.
Wow.
And by the way, viewers, I remember her very clearly. She was the 2018 Miss Universe Great Britain.
That's an interesting picture we chose there.
Yes, I mean, she's fabulous, isn't she? And Ron, I remember her, like I said, because she actually made history by becoming the first Black woman to be crowned Miss Universe Great Britain at the time, and of course went on to represent her beautiful country, Anguilla, and the United Kingdom at the International Miss Universe competition. She's also a very competitive athlete and won a silver medal in the heptathlon in the Central American and Caribbean Games, in addition to a bronze medal at the Carifta Games. But of course, now we see her stretching her wings to the world of politics, becoming a politician at just 27 years old. Now, viewers, in a statement posted on the website, the APM group said, quote, a new story in Anguilla's history has been written. Thank you for believing in us. Thank you for your support, your faith, and your hope. Thank you for embracing our vision and marching right beside us in this journey. We ask for your continued support and faith as our work has just begun. End of quote. Now, viewers, an estimated 11,950 voters were eligible to cast ballots on Monday. That is yesterday, of course, and the Central Electoral Office, CEO, said 32 candidates representing 2 main political parties and 10 independents had contested in the poll. Now, under the electoral system here, voters elect 7 members in the single-member constituencies by the first past the post voting, and 4 at-large members selected from the entire island by plurality at-large voting. Voters may vote up to 4 candidates in the at-large seats, which replaced 4 appointees. Now, the victory for APM, led by Dr. Ellis Webster, who you'll soon see on the screen, is a reversal of the 2015 general elections, when Banks led his AUF victory by winning 7 seats, and the APM, which has recently formed, failing to win a seat. And viewers, our very own territory leader, Honorable Andrew A. Foy, was the very first, or among the very first in the region to extend congratulations to Mr. Webster. So we also here at 284 Media would like to extend congratulatory messages to the new party, and of course, Premier-elect Mr. Webster.
Indeed.
And wish him all the best as a fellow British Overseas Territory. We kind of understand the dynamic and the format of how these things go. So, huge congratulations to the territory of Anguilla.
Indeed, Jovan, this, I believe, is the second regional election amidst COVID-19 that we've been following. Of course, St. Kitts, who recently held theirs, and now Anguilla. And what it goes to show, I think, really is that the business of the people and the business of politics, believe it or not, has to go on. In November of this year, later on, we're going to see where the U.S. election is going to take place, which is going to be a very unprecedented and historic election. I think we're all going to be watching in anticipation. But it goes to show that the duty of the people and the work must continue, so we wish them all the best.
Definitely. Viewers, we are out of time. That is it for today's News Roundup. But you can always follow us for daily news updates at 284media.com. We're also on Facebook at 284media and 284BVI, on Instagram as well as Twitter. My name is Javon Wilson.
And I'm Ron Grant. We'll see you again tomorrow as we deliver your daily dose of local, regional, and international content. We're 284 News, your source for honest and impartial news. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Bye-bye.
Yes. You want top of power?
You want top of power?
Join the prepaid party with CCT and enjoy more affordable data plans, more top-up promotions, more savings with hero bundles, and more value for your money each and every Tuesday with Top Up Turn Up Tuesday. Visit a CCT store today or anywhere CCT Top Up is sold and top up your phone.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. You want top of power?
Eco? Everyone is speaking about eco-friendly products. We wanted to take the time to introduce the Eco Island brand. Eco Island is a brand dedicated to providing you with a reliable and cost-effective solution. Eco-friendly products for your restaurant, hotel, bar, office, and home. With takeaway trays, bags, cups, paper straws, cutlery, and cleaners. For more information, follow us at Eco Island 100.
Is business slow, cash flow down, hosting an upcoming event? We can help. Advertise with 284 Media and take your business or event to the next level by enhancing your present marketing and messaging strategies. Allow our team of experts to create a personalized ad that sets your business apart from all the rest. This could be your business or event. So, what are you waiting for? Contact our marketing team at 284media@cctbvi.com. Advertising with us works.
Are you a business owner? Business owners are very busy thinking on ways to grow. Wouldn't you like a vendor that makes life easier?